What the fuck is up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Tony's Corner, a Gregor segment. My apologies, there haven't been a lot of videos, not a lot of activity on Tony's Corner TikTok or Instagram. It's been an emotional couple of days, so my apologies for that. I try really hard not to make this show political. If you want politics, go to the Great Girth podcast, but it's been a very, very emotional couple of days. A lot of stuff going on in the world of politics and all that. So this is where we come to get away from politics and away from all that shit. So that is my excuse as to why I've been running so slow, but we're back. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. We're going to be doing a trailer reaction to Monster, the Ed Gein Story. If you don't know who Ed Gein is, bro, Silence of the Lambs, fucking Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This guy's a real freak of nature. Like, if you look up the story of him, dude, the movies that you've seen do not do justice to the actual story of who Ed Gein was. Hope I'm saying his name right. I've been studying this dude for years. I would be pissed if I found out that I was saying it wrong. But anyway, I have been dying to see this show ever since I heard that Charlie Hunnam was attached to it. I could not fucking believe that, dude. I love Charlie Hunnam. Big fan. I'm one of those freaks that I love true stories, especially about serial killers. I know it's weird, but I love stories like that. I've always followed Ed Gein, the Zodiac Killer, a lot of that stuff. These are things that, like, they inspire a lot of the fiction that you've seen, like Halloween and all that. Like, there is something to be said about it. No, I'm not one that condones this kind of activity, but it's something that I want to see on screen told faithfully according to the case, if that makes any logical sense. Otherwise, no, murder's wrong, obviously, right? Killers shouldn't be celebrated. I'm not one to celebrate killers. I love looking information up on these guys. These cases are just like, they'll send you down rabbit holes, man. And Ed Gein's case is one of them. Before we start this trailer reaction, do yourself a favor, research this fucker, come back, let's watch this trailer review together. And keep in mind, this is actually a teaser. This is just a teaser trailer for this. And this is technically the third season, because Monster started with Jeffrey Dahmer, and then they did another season called Monsters that was the Eric and Lyle Menendez brothers story. So interesting to see what they do here with this. Like I said, I really hope that they actually do kind of dive into the true story of Ed Gein and not just cinematic elements, but we'll see. I really enjoyed the Jeffrey Dahmer one and the, Eric and Lyle Menendez story. Those were really good. A lot of inaccuracies in both shows, but also a lot of faithfulness in each one. By faithful, I just purely mean, like, the true story, what really happened, things like that. Obviously, some things you got to change for, audiences and just to protect the information of those that were involved, I guess is the best way to say it, because these are true stories. These aren't just something we're putting out for fucking artwork. So I've talked a lot. Let's just dive right into it. All right, we're off. So right away, I know we're starting this, but right away, the plaid like shirt and all that, like, it just matches what one of the pictures I've seen of Ed Gein as he was locked up, like as he was being arrested by police, you can see him in that plaid shirt. That's one of them. There's many pictures of him out there, but that is one of them. The second thing, the house. Dude, does it not look eerily? Does it not look similar to the house in Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Like, it almost is like they borrowed some inspiration there, which is crazy because Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the inspiration does come from the story of Ed Gein. So totally bizarre, dude. That house does, it is, it's eerily, it strikes something there, dude. It's weird.
What shocks you most about him?
Oh, okay. So we're going to see the rise.
How did he do it? What was his childhood like?
Oh. Gross, dude.
I'd like to show you something worse.
Oh, fuck, dude. Yep. This is what inspired those. What in the fuck was that?
You're working too fast.
I'm sorry, Mother.
Ugh.
Just go slow and steady. Take your time, sweet boy.
Oh, bro. Oh, the realism. All right, October 3rd. Okay. October 3rd. Dropping the ball a little bit on that one, if you ask me. Just because October 3rd is the very beginning of October, and it's like you should drop this a few days before October begins. Now that we're in spooky season, I'm just kidding. Not trying to sound like a basic bitch, but that's like pretty much what this feels like, that you guys are releasing this on October 3rd. Like, I gotta wait that long? Okay, well, whatever. Positives. Dude, it looks good. It looks good. This is actually one of the few trailer reactions I've done where I'm like, okay, I want to see that. That looks good. It looks great. Charlie Hunnam looks, god damn, dude, with this hat. I have so much fucking hair, dude. It is time for this goddamn haircut. All right. Huh. So, Charlie Hunnam is cool. I've always been a fan of him. Even before Sons of Anarchy, he's done a lot of good work. He's a very, very good actor. He is the perfect person for this role. It was a little weird at first. I was kind of like, what, why? You know what I mean? Like, that's different. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, he can pretty much morph into any role he's played. So I would not be shocked, dude, if he ends up being like the best performance, like the best version of Ed Gein that we've ever gotten. It does look like it's going to be so realistic, dude, just based on some of the stuff we're seeing, like the body parts and the skin. This man lived underneath skin. For those of you that don't know, Ed Gein was literally the inspiration behind Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What had happened is after his fucked up scenario, which I can't remember if it was in the 50s or the 60s. I do not remember when Ed Gein, when his, like, I want to say it was in the 50s. I can't remember, dude. It has been that long since this is driving me crazy. There we go. It has been that long since I've actually researched the guy. I want to say his run, though. Yeah, his run was probably in like the 50s, maybe later 50s. I could be wrong. It could be the 40s-ish. But his run as a killer was pretty early on, before Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that's why I bring that up, dude. Texas Chainsaw Massacre got its footing because of the story of Ed Gein. And it wasn't just that. I mean, the book Psycho was written, and it was inspired by the story of Ed Gein as well. So, I mean, it is a story that is old. It's as old as time. And it's a true story. That's the most fucked up part, dude. It's a true story about somebody, and you got to look at the date on it. This was in a time in the middle of nowhere where you could do something like that. And it's crazy that that was ever a thing, especially for that time. Like, dude, I would argue that back then, there was just so much violence and just vile shit because of the fact that we didn't have advancements in technology and like police and stuff like that. That is why there was so many of these. But you just look at the date and you're like, dude, this is so unlike the era that Ed Gein came from. But yeah, one thing I will say too is I like that they add the motherly aspect. For those of you that don't know, Ed Gein's relationship with his mom was like super abusive, but borderline. Like, he was a protector of her, essentially. Like, she played a big role in why he ended up the way he was. I don't want to spoil it too much because, again, this does kind of play into the show itself. The best thing you can do, though, is do research. Make sure you go look up who Ed Gein was. Watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre just for the fuck of it. Watch Psycho. Psycho takes the element of the mom, whereas Texas Chainsaw Massacre takes the element of Ed Gein that loved to wear women's skin. And there is a lot that indicates that he had a full mask made out of skin too, but I've never actually seen anything like it. So I don't know, like, that far into it, like how much truth there is to that. I do know, though, that there was the mother aspect, and then there was he liked to wear skin. So watch those movies first, and then you'll understand. You got plenty of time, dude. October 3rd is like right around the corner. I am so fucking excited for this, but it's October 3rd, man. I like Charlie Hunnam, so I'm excited to see what they do with it. And just from what I've seen, it does look like we're going to get a, kind of like what they did with Jeffrey Dahmer, we're going to get a rise and eventual fall. So we are going to get a character study. That's why I like the Monster series, dude, is they do character studies for each season. Like, you can argue all you want about Jeffrey Dahmer with the inaccuracies and stuff like that, because I found many, but dude, the character study of it all was great. I liked that they actually put you in this person's like POV essentially, and you're forced to be there. It's so uncomfortable. It's so unnerving. I can't wait to see what kind of work Charlie Hunnam does as basically the birth of Leatherface, essentially. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is definitely not as, again, faithful to the story of Ed Gein and all the awful things he did. However, I would argue that what you see in Texas Chainsaw Massacre isn't even... I mean, I guess it depends on the versions of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I'm talking the original, the OG film. That movie is probably one of the tamest films I've ever seen. And it doesn't do any justice to what Ed Gein was really like. This man was a monster. So whatever we get in the show, probably, in my guess with the amount of blood and violence we go for these days, is probably going to outdo Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But for those of you saying that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like an exaggerated version of Ed Gein, like, I agree with you, but they don't do justice on the violence and just the awful, heinous things he did. I mean that, dude. He's probably one of the most evil people. Like, I've read up on Ted Bundy, all those guys. Ed Gein is probably one of the most evil ones. He's the most disturbed. His story is just so fucked up, dude. That is why I cannot wait for this show. And I can't wait to see what Charlie Hunnam does, man. I've been very impressed with the Monster series, so I just can't wait for this. And it's perfect. It's fitting, dude. Chain Reactions, the documentary about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is coming out this year. It actually came out the other day, if I'm not mistaken. And they're already talking about remaking Texas Chainsaw Massacre again. So there we go. Damn, I think I'm going to watch those terrible movies just to get into the spirit of this. I'm going to have to. But thanks, guys, for watching. What do you think? Are you interested in the new season of Monster, the story of Ed Gein? Comment below. Let me know. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. I am Tony. This is a segment of Tony's Corner, more specifically, a Great Girth segment. If you want politics and you want a little more fiery version of me, go check out the Great Girth podcast. But if you like movies or maybe you don't want to know anything about me when it comes to politics, stay here. But thanks, guys, for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Make sure to always stay rad.